up, down, down, left, right. Then B-A start, the screen goes white. It's the cracker, Whitey Cracker, the game genie. 8 bits with the 8-inch weenie. I don't break bricks, I'm not Mario, but I'm still old school like Atari, yo. I'm the highly freestyly Dr. Wiley. Beat me 3 times and you win a smiley. Underground like the sewer where I kick it with rap. Yodel back, Ninja Turtles, Cowabunga, where you at? Jump on the can and the bricks where I'm landing. Gotta get the Triforce, gotta begin. And they called him the wizard in California. Power glove on my wrist, just had to warn ya. Pitter patter on the power pack, track the field. Or be like Rue's dad and get your chest peeled.
Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press start on controller 2. Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press play on your system 2. Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press start on controller 2. Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press play on your system 2. Yeah.
In between neighborhood laser tagging, we'd all get together for some double dragging. Helicopter kick Bobo off the roof. Have all his henchmen like what the hoof. Then we butt heads with battle toads. Double tapping right to run that foes. Sometimes I hit him with the double fist. Then pop those raps just like assist. It kinda sucks now cause my nest blink's red. I blow and blow but all my games are dead. Thank God for ROMs and Nesticle. Played at every geek rap festival. This is the nerd rap entertainment system. And I hope you like the rhyme I spit. Cause the Whitey Cracker stay nerd forever. If you wanna repeat, just hit reset. Yeah.
Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press start on controller 2. Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press play on your system 2. Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press start on controller 2. Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press play on your system 2. Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press start on controller 2. Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press play on your system 2. Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press start on controller 2. Nerd rap entertainment system. Please press play on your system 2. Yeah.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD. And that was YT Cracker with his brilliant song, NES. As you can see, I'm flying solo, but I'm joined by all of you lovely people watching. Make sure that you hit the like button, share this with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, I know we got a lot of things to talk about. I want to talk about some DC news. I want to talk about some Microsoft news, but the big news is the Stuttering Craig meltdown. 1 hour and 20 minutes of just the worst fake shilling, fake laughing. Hammock Man, what's up? I thought I was going to do this alone.
No, sorry, I just run a little behind like usual, but I'm here.
So have you seen any of this Stuttering Craig meltdown?
I watched the video that Sweet and Tender did, and then I tried to watch his video earlier, and I just couldn't do it on my break. So,
yeah. What's up, CM Retro? It has been a while. So, Sweet and Tender did a 10-minute video cutting up various Stuttering Craig comments from various videos and stuff and put them together with some Tommy Tallarico stuff.
Yeah.
10-minute video. Got 1.8 thousand views. So got a little traction, got a little noise. Apparently, Stuttering Craig got word of this. And to prove how much this did not bother him, he did a 1 hour and 20 minute live stream about this video. Now, I know we go long when we talk, right? I could just keep going. But really, there's nothing there other than, there's no commentary from Sweet and Tender Hooligan. It's just comments from Stuttering Craig himself. So it's like, how did it take him an hour and 20 minutes to get through this?
Well, he kept getting a lot of super chats, I was noticing. It was distracting him.
Super shilling.
Yeah.
I made it in like 2 minutes of that video. Yeah. it was pretty ridiculous. And I seen some things, and I was gonna do a whole like watch along, and then Evil and Justy, they stole my idea and they did the watch along, and now I'm like, I don't want to be, following up on what they did. So we're gonna do things a little bit different. We'll take some select moments in the video and talk about them.
There you go.
You know,
How does my delay sound, by the way? Because last time it was awful.
it sounds fine to me, but there's only the two of us, so you tell me how your delay sounds.
That sounded pretty good because it didn't take you that long to respond to me.
No, Tony, we
Okay,
need
good.
a watch along. It's an hour and 20-minute video. I mean, and I don't know if Days wants to be here all night.
Well, I'm here for a little bit, so whatever you want to do. We can just if you got highlights, do the highlights, yeah, because a lot of that was just kind of hard to watch.
All right, before we get to the highlights, we got some other Amico news that we have to discuss. Because a couple of videos have gone down on the Amico channel, on the Intellivision channel. Have you noticed that, Dazed?
No, I haven't.
Well, if you try to go to those videos, if you happen to have the links to those videos, you're going to be met with a very interesting message. Something that looks like this. Video unavailable. This video is no longer available due to a copyright claim by the Retro Bro.
Oh, Retro Bro.
And it's not just one video. As you can see, we'll pull up a second video. There's also copyright claim.
Was that them? Were they using his stuff, or was it from the party, the basement party, or?
Well, one of them is the Amico Astro Smash reactions, and I think the other one is the Amico physical media reaction, I want to say. So he's in the videos. There's footage from his video in those videos.
Ah. Okay.
And I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence on this because on the one hand, yeah, it's kind of funny that he's claiming their videos.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
But on the other hand, it does give them plausible deniability, right? Those videos no longer exist. We didn't take them down. Retro Bro did. You can't see all the shilling that's been going on.
Yeah.
So, 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Luckily for us, people have really been up on this. So they have the one video saved. It is on the, r/Intellivision_Amico subreddit. So that is that reaction. It's a 2 minutes and 4 second video. People
Good job, nerds.
Talking about how great the physical media is. And then the other video was luckily archived by the Internet Archives itself. So that's this video right here. As you can see, it is a 4 minute and 11 second video. This is where everyone told us how great.
This is a huge leap forward from the 16-bit game that I grew up with.
Okay. I love how the background was like displaying the snow, the pyramids, the volcano.
That's pretty cool looking. It really is.
Have you seen this game? I've never seen a game like this on a phone.
Oh,
Cyrus, have you seen this game?
Yeah, I love you, Cyrus, but come on, man. I've seen better games than that on the phone.
That was when he was still in full
Forgot about
shill
the
mode.
mobile controller. So
Yeah, like how you can just jump in like that. It's very arcade like. I love that.
Oh, here we go. Look at it. Look how fast the controller switches here.
And there's basically 3 different ways to hold the controller for this game.
Oh, and there's the mobile version running in real time with 3 players all at the same time.
It is amazing. Talk about the music. It's like an orchestra playing in your ears.
Oh my God, DJC, come on, dude. My jaw's
It's like
hitting the ground.
The orchestra is right in your ear.
game where the soundtrack is gonna drive this game.
Great music can make it a great game.
And the music, the sounds, everything like sounds perfect for especially playing with other people, like playing with my son.
Listen to that. Holy crap.
This is badass right here.
The pace of the music goes with the pace of the action on screen.
Papa P can sit on it too. That's why Papa P got it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Holy God, that looks amazing.
This is awesome.
Creep.
Oh my God.
That right there with the soundtrack going like that. Oh,
Get the shield. Get the shield.
Oh,
Okay,
Mullis.
There we
Oh.
go. There we go. There we go.
Tommy Tallarico is taking this concept and just totally updating it for
Turbo Joe.
for modern gaming. There's going to be boss battles.
It's gonna be boss battles in the
Boss
game that doesn't
battles.
exist. That never came
Yeah.
out.
6.
All right, so we do have them saved. We're not gonna watch it all. We went over it when it first released. But why should we pay attention to Stuttering Craig? Why should we even give him the time of day, right? Why should we be worried about him? Well, because he's a fucking liar. That's why, gentlemen. Is it hard to really think that people who shield for the Amico would lie? It's really that hard.
No.
Well, here's Craig on Twitter. He says Will, and he's using quotes because I guess he doesn't truly believe that this guy's name is Will. Says Will wants to cancel me because my opinions in this video are different than his. Will can go F himself. Watch the video. Okay. Now the video in question is the Stuttering Craig interview of Tommy, right? Now there's a couple of things we gotta note. Okay, when Stuttering Craig interviewed Tommy, it was July 27, 2020 when the video was published. I believe the interview actually took place in June because Tommy says in the interview that what day is it now? It's June 29th, and then he's going over why the Amico could still launch in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, so Stuttering Craig, in his rebuttal to Sweet and Tender, he says, well, what was I supposed to do? I didn't know. It was 2020. I didn't know any better, right? So, none of the lies had been exposed at that point. But gentlemen, I say to you, all the lies were exposed at that point. I don't know how many videos I made. I don't know how many videos Pat and Ian made. All the other people that were involved in this, Kenny made videos. I'm trying to think what the hell's his name. He was one of the early anti-Amico people. He had a really weird name.
I don't know. I can't help you.
There was other people, is what I'm saying. There was people making videos. The information was out there. It was not maybe as prolific as it is now, right? We got everything that Tommy's done. But there was enough information out there for him to start questioning things. And it's the same thing that, the same slack or the same shit that we gave Slopes, right? The information was out there if you were willing to look for it. But he wasn't. He wasn't willing to look for it. And secondly, Mr. Craig says that, well, all he ever did was interview Tommy, right? That's it. That's all he ever did. And, we're harassing him. People are harassing him, making videos, calling him a shill, simply because he interviewed Tommy. Now, would you be shocked if I told you that was a fucking lie?
Dun, dun, dun. Nope, I was just waiting for it to come.
Well, here's the video from Sweet and Tender Hooligan. Okay. Disgraced video game YouTuber shills for Tommy Tallarico and his Intellivision. Okay. In this clip here, at 4 minutes and 40 seconds, you can see this is Stuttering Craig on the right, Tommy Tallarico on the left. He's being interviewed, right? But now if we scroll back into the video, where's the section? That would be Stuttering Craig right there, who's part of the Amico Texas event. The Video Game Museum reaction video.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in that. So that's two things that he did. We'll say, well, maybe Craig was just there, right? He was there, and he happened to get caught on camera. He really didn't, shill so much as gave his reaction. But what's this here? This, gentlemen, is also Stuttering Craig. But as you can see, this is not the Tommy Tallarico interview. This is a Twitch stream here from 2021 in which he's promoting the Amico. And Sweet and Tender Hooligan has helpfully clipped out some pieces. And let's listen to a little bit of what he says.
Okay.
If you look at like an old Amico, old Intellivision controller, it had the centralized thing on it, right? It's like that, but now 40 years later. You're a child, Tommy.
Well, that's
Okay, so he talked about the Amico controller, how it's reminiscent of the old Intellivision. And we're gonna skip ahead because we don't care about the whole Tommy's a child shit.
Families. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be awesome for families. Those who are like, it's Intellivision, it's the Amico, like you don't understand. You do like this is the Wii 15 years later.
What?
This is the Wii
15 years later.
15 years. Does this sound like somebody who's informed, knows what they're talking about? Someone who
Mega shill.
Who's shilling, who's basically saying things in order to be on Tommy's good side. And again, let's take it back 5 seconds.
Understand. You do like this is the Wii 15 years later. The Wii 2. That's what it is. And it's gonna kill.
It's gonna kill.
You mean the Wii U was the Wii 2?
So yes, Craig, you didn't just interview Tommy. No, a year later, after it was already late, after it already missed, not one, but two launch dates, you still were promoting it, telling people how good it was, how great the system was, how it was going to be for families and for hospitals, and how this, you didn't understand. You even said it. You said, if you are dogging the system, it's because you don't understand. Craig, you promoted the system. You were a shill. All you had to do was say, hey guys, I was misinformed. Tommy lied to me. I bought the lies. Boo-boo on me. Right? You didn't need to make an hour and 20-minute live stream trying to rebut your own bullshit. Right? You literally said these things. Sweet and Tender Hooligan didn't do anything. He didn't alter your voice. He didn't take you out of context. He simply clipped things that you did say and put them up into a mirror. He said, here, look at what you said.
You know what that says to me? You know what that says to me? That says to me guilt and shame. Like if you like, it's one thing if like Sweet and Tender was like, did make a video just ripping into him and shitting on him, and then he responded to that. He just literally played clips of the things that he said. He did, and he feels like he needs to go and respond. How long was it? Hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half to a guy that. I mean, Sweet and Tender Hooligan's like us, he's nobody. It's like he's got no. It's not saying that that's wrong, but we're small channels. Like what's the point? Like obviously, he felt there was some truth there, and it hurt his fifis.
It hurt him. It stung deep. He saw that 1.8 thousand views on the video. Stuttering Craig, for being a 30,000 channel, what does he got? He got 29,000 subscribers at this time, and he's around. He's from Screw Attack. He's an OG.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
Some of Craig's videos aren't even getting that kind of traction. So, when he's looking at the views, he was probably kind of pissed. He even said that, Sweet and Tender was trying to bank off of his name, how he should. He actually said this, and I was shocked. He said, maybe I should copyright claim the video so I can make all the money off of that video that Sweet and Tender Hooligan made. So he was already just contemplating copy striking this video. What's up, the real Levon? Whatever his belt's for, I think they're just fake. I think they're fake. So the fact that he it's all about the money for him. He talks about how, in the industry, you got to maintain contacts. It's all about who you know. So that tells me right there, he knew Tommy was full of shit, or he knew Tommy was probably lying, but he didn't want to rock the boat. He didn't want to rock the boat because that's how you get interviews. That's how you get people to talk to you, right? You don't rock the boat. You just let con artists con people. It's not your money, right, Craig? It's not your money that was invested in Amico. It might have been other people's money. It might have been you who they clipped and showed investors and said, hey, look at this guy, Stuttering Craig. He's an OG, screw attack, years and years of industry experience. He knows when something's bullshit, and he's telling you how great the Amico is. So why don't you invest in it? Why wouldn't you invest? You would be crazy not to invest when people like Stuttering Craig are telling you how great it is, how it's the Wii too. But of course, he don't take no responsibility for that. He thinks it's no big deal. It's no big deal. I don't believe it. He says he didn't watch. Yeah, according to Craig, he hasn't watched Pat's videos or H Bomber Guy video. He don't care. He hasn't paid any attention to any of the Amico stuff.
Nah, he dipped in, got his little toes wet, and did his little bit of shilling, and then bounced. Who cares? Like you said, it's not my money.
Yeah. All right. Now this next part, it kind of pissed me off when I heard it, and it really upset Craig when he saw Sweet and Tender's video. So we're going to listen to it. And I want you to pay close attention.
Money, that comes later. I'm not doing it for the money. Like I said, as a parent, right? There are things that, whether it's even on Disney Plus, there's things that I'm like, I can't let my kids just go watch this because there's messages that, and there's things that are said that I'm not comfortable with my 6 and 8 year old seeing, right? I grew up playing games.
Okay. So he said that even on Disney Plus, there's messages and things that he's not comfortable with his 6 and 8 year old seeing. Now,
what do you think those things are?
Well, it's obvious what those things are. I mean, Sweet and Tender kind of hit the nail on the head here.
Oh, I didn't even notice those things on the right. Yeah. Oh.
Because when Craig seen this, he was very, very upset. This triggered him to no end. And he said, and we'll watch the clip, but I'm going to preface this, but he basically said, well, he doesn't want his kids seeing sex. Why would he want his kids to watch sex? Right? Sex on Disney Plus, apparently. Apparently there's hardcore pornography. It's not just on the Switch, gentlemen. It's also on the Disney.
Oh, goodness. And he reacted to this part. We're going to see that part where he reacts to, oh, here we go.
Okay, so now I want you to note a couple of things here before we get into the reaction here. You'll notice that the live chat is not available. It was available, but at some point he found out that Evil and them were watching the video and he disabled the live chat. Also, the video is unlisted. He did an hour and 20-minute rebuttal. A video that at the end of the video he says was one of the funnest videos he's ever done. He had a great time doing it. He enjoyed it. He made all kind of money. He was very proud of it. But somehow it ended up unlisted. Wonder why that is.
Probably going to be canceled soon if he sees this.
That comes later. I'm not doing it for the money, like as a parent, right? There are things that, there's even Disney Plus, there's things that.
What the hell? Why the hell am I lumped into this? What is this? What this is? Okay, what the hell is this about?
Am I at 2 times speed? Yeah. Let me put it back on normal.
There you go.
What the hell? Why the hell am I lumped into this? What is this? This is okay. What the hell is this about? This is what I want to know. Why the hell am I? Why am I lumped in with this?
I'm like, I can't let my kids just go watch this because there's messages that, and there's things that are said that I'm not comfortable with my 6 and 8 year old seeing, right? I grew up playing games on the couch.
So I said that there's things that my 6 and 8 year old aren't comfortable seeing. So you guys immediately take it there
on Disney Plus, dude.
Yeah. He's ignoring that. He said there's things even on Disney Plus. There's messages, right? What messages?
There's nothing on Disney Plus that could be considered like violent or sexual, and not at all.
Not at all.
I'm going to say this really clear. What kind of sick fucks are you to jump through hoops to make that conclusion?
No, that wasn't a hoop jump. There was no hoop jump. You said messages. What you said? You literally said there's things and messages. So even if we say, well, okay, there's sex, you don't want your kids watching sex, fine. But what messages? What messages, Craig? Is it that is on TV that you don't want your kids to see?
Yeah, that triggered him for sure.
Maybe I just don't want him watching death and murder.
Death and Murder on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
It's the new show.
Should they be watching sex at 6 and 8
on Disney Plus? Death, Murder, and Sex.
Yeah, he did. He totally glossed over that he was referring to Disney Plus, and he's trying to make it seem like I just don't want my kids watching certain things, but it was literally from Disney Plus. He said it.
Who's getting murdered in your house? Jesus.
I can close the door. My son and my wife are in there. They're fighting. They're playing now.
You should get Craig on the show. Well, Craig, who said he's open to the discussion, he's open to talking to people. When I messaged him, when I tweeted a response to him, he didn't reply. He was replying to other things, but apparently he didn't want to reply to me in regards to this matter here. Wonder why that is.
He told you to get bent.
Wonder why that is.
No. You guys are fucked up. You guys are idiots. Idiots.
You're old seeing, right? I grew up playing.
You know how you know that this is true, right? He didn't even offer. He didn't even say, "Hey, well, you know what? I am a LGBTQ ally, or I have LGBTQ friends, or trans rights or human rights." He didn't even say any of that, right? Even
no, he didn't.
He just, you're sick for suggesting that I might have suggested that I didn't want my kids seeing those kind of messages, which is 100% what he did, what he suggested, that there's messages on Disney Plus that he's not comfortable with. He can't just leave his kids watching it because, hell, they might learn that there's gay people and they exist.
He might see two boys kiss. Cartoon boys.
Yeah. So now I wish there was a transcript so I could just go straight to. Oh, actually, there is a transcript now. Hell yeah.
Oh.
It must have just popped up. I know. At one point.
Sorry, go ahead.
At one point, Sweet and Tender is in the chat watching that. He timed Sweet and Tender out because he thought it was funny. Then he basically berates Sweet and Tender, who he thinks is a 17-year-old kid. It's all around great guy. Yeah. Let me see something real quick in the chat. Wait, gay people are real? Yeah. Hey, I remember this. Yeah, I can't DM him. Just he don't get his DMs open. He didn't watch the video beforehand, but has extreme talking points, almost like he watched it. Yeah, I think he did. I think he did watch it. 100%. He's acting like the other shows. Yeah, he's acting very incredulous, right? Like, oh, I didn't do nothing. Why are people upset with me?
You got caught in 4K, bud.
4K. Let me see here. How's your day been?
It's shit. Basically, it's my Monday back at work, so I got 4 days to go, and there's no football this weekend, so it's like I'll probably have to do work, a honey-do list. But yeah, other than that, it's been good. How about you?
Pretty good. I took the day off of work.
That sounds nice.
It was.
I was planning on. I was gonna try to beat some those games yesterday, but I ended up I went to the doctor and I ended up having just like a little tiny bit of surgery and came back and I was just freaking didn't feel like doing anything. I was tired, so I'm still only at 2 games beaten.
You finally got the extra nipple removed, or what?
Yeah, it was time. Tired of being called freak in my own bed.
Max has a third nipple. Mad Max, not Sidekick Max.
Does he? Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. We keep trying to get him to show it. To show his superfluous third nipple. All right, let's listen to some more select comments here by Stuttering Craig.
Okay.
Somebody's word. And look, now there's proof. Okay, cool. There's proof. Great. How the hell am I supposed to know in a video where I'm just talking, where I'm just doing an interview with this guy? You guys are insane. We'll finish this up.
So how is he supposed to know, Hammock Man? How is he supposed to know? He just did an interview with the guy, in June of 2020. How was Craig supposed to know that the shit was going to hit the fan, that it wasn't going to pan out?
I don't know. Should be more cautious on what you shill for.
Yeah, maybe, when you schedule guests to be on your show, you do a little background check, you look into things, you do a little research, like a normal person would do, a responsible person who has an audience and wants their audience to get the factual information. But of course, that's not what Craig does. No.
He probably, I wonder, because Tommy had his plans with the YouTubers. I wonder what he promised him. Because Stuttering Craig was a big get for Tommy at that point.
Yeah, he was. He was a big get. Old school.
I wonder
name.
what he promised him. There had to have been something in it for Stuttering Craig, like him and John Riggs. There had to have been something other than just mindless shilling. That we may never know.
He probably promised him. He even says in the video that I could get an Amico right now, and that would piss you guys off. I could get one.
Do you think though that they would just to get a free Amico? Are they that desperate and sad? I wouldn't even do that for a free Nintendo system.
Okay, so here's the great quote from Stuttering Craig here, and I'm going to back it up a little so we get the exact. Right? We want to get that context. We want to allow him to hang himself.
It says last man standing wins $1 shillion. Hey, if you guys are just joining, I would like to welcome out to the biggest shill on the internet. It's me. I have been labeled a shill by a group of people for talking about the Amico one time.
3
times.
Just one time? No, just one. You heard him. He talked about the Amico just one time.
The guy who wanted to do the Amico, Tommy Tallarico. So for that, I must apologize for that. And for that, I say, fuck off.
What a doofus.
I mean, just own your shit. Just say, yeah, you know what? I thought it was good. I was tricked. I didn't know any better, guys. I fucked up. I make mistakes. We're all human.
Or even own your shit if that's what you feel like about Disney Plus. Don't just write it. If that's what you feel, fucking say it. Instead of just trying to be like a little snake and pretend like what didn't happen. If you have a problem with something, just be forthcoming. You don't have to sit there and hide and pretend and be a sleaze about it.
Yeah.
Not that that's still not good, but it's better than just being glossing over it and be like, oh, what do you mean? I'm just looking out for what my kids watch. No, you're concerned with them getting a certain point of view. It has nothing to do with violence or sex.
Oh no, there's all kind of violence and sex and killing, especially on Disney Plus. I mean,
Yeah, that Mighty Ducks movie. My God, that was just a violent, sick movie.
I used to love that movie as a kid.
It's great. I went and watched the new series. I don't think I finished it, but it was actually fairly entertaining.
Is it?
It's not bad. It's got Gordon Bombay in it. Still, what's his name? What's his real name? Emilio Estevez is in it. It's pretty good, and it's got the kids that it's got some of the kids that have like grown up. Like it shows them as adults.
Now, just to show you whether or not this video really affected Mr. Craig. Craig here. 14 minutes into him watching, or not even watching, because I don't even think at this point he had even started watching the video. I think he maybe just barely got it in. Yeah, he just barely got it.
Watch the video and find out. Okay, hey, Sweet and Tender Hooligans, before we get any further, I would just like to personally say, go fuck yourself and for trying to make your name off of a fringe YouTuber shill like myself. All right, there you go. Now let's find out. Let's see what's going on. Let's see.
Remember, it didn't bother him, guys. Guys, it didn't bother him.
That amicophobic thing definitely triggered him. He probably
I think
didn't
he watched the video.
You think he watched the whole video, or maybe he just didn't see that part, because that part did seem kind of genuine. How he just like, maybe he started to watch it, or somebody said, "Hey, you need to watch this." I think that was a live reaction when that part came on. Because at first he was like, because he was cutting up. I was there when he was doing it. He was like, "Oh, I just blocked Sweet and Tender. Oh, just being funny." And then later on, he's like, "This is bullshit." Like he changed gears. I feel like that wasn't planned.
Maybe he skimmed over it, watched some of it.
That's
like
what I
said.
think. I don't think he saw that, because at first I didn't even notice that part until you pointed it out, and I watched the whole thing.
All right, and then this one last part that I want to show, because, like I said, I don't want to watch the whole hour and 20-minute. I will give you the link. I'll put it in the chat if you want to watch the whole hour and 20-minute video. It's a long one. It's long. There's a link. All right. So the last thing I want to show from that particular video. What the hell is it? Is this part right here? This is an excellent bit of trolling by Sweet and Tender, but also shows what kind of asshole Stuttering Craig is.
There's an event up there that'll bring me up there. I don't just think I will ever make my way down there. Sweet and Tender Hooligan says, "And you believed him?" Well, Sweet and Tender Hooligans, how old are you? What are your goals? What do you do? Yes, I believed him. Why would I not believe him? Had he never given me a reason not to believe him? Why would I? Why? Like, what is the issue with believing somebody when they say they're going to do something? I say Side Scrollers is going to be one of the biggest podcasts in gaming in a few years, right? That's what I think. Are you going to come back to me and be like, "Do you believe me?" All you can do is take a guy at his word. That's all you got to do. Take a man for his word. And you know what? Tommy never gave me any reason not to trust him up to that point, right? Like, hell, dude, everything he said he was going to do, he'd done. You want to come out to Video Games Live? Sure. You want us to come see the Amico? Sure. Hey, I'm going to make this video game console. Okay, cool. Look, I don't know about his personal history, how many Guinness Book of World Records shit he has. I don't know. I'm not like some crazy internet sleuth going out trying to figure out all the details in everybody's history. I'm not that psychotic. All right.
Guys, you're psychotic for wanting to know anything about the guy who's trying to sell you something. You know, when people try to sell you things, don't look at their personal history. Don't look at their past promises, their failures, their successes, anything, right? You know, you're a psychopath. You're psychotic if you go ahead and do that. You're some sort of weird, psychotic internet sleuth.
What the fuck did this guy do back in the day? I've never seen anything of his. Did he was on Screw Attack? Did he just do like game reviews and shit?
Yeah, he was on Screw Attack, and then he went to Game Attack, and then he was at some other stuff. it again, it really speaks to the level of, I don't know, delusion that this guy has. That people, again, this isn't just some guy. You weren't just interviewing Tommy, like, hey, I'm interviewing Tommy Tellerico, the video games live guy, right? Or I'm interviewing Sweet and Tender Hooligan, the YouTube content creator. No, I'm interviewing a guy who's trying to sell a product to my audience. And he felt no obligation to the people who watch him, no obligation to anybody who stumbled on his video, to any of his fans who might be taken advantage of, because it's not my business. You're psychotic to want to look and try to find out what the guy who's selling you a product is, whether or not he's truthful, whether or not the things he says are factual.
He could have found out exactly what he needed, just gone and watched about maybe 2 or 3 videos, and that would have been enough.
Yeah.
You don't have to go like deep down in the rabbit hole, but.
And also, you don't need to, again, all you had to say is, hey, I didn't do my due diligence. I fucked up. I should have, because apparently Tommy is a serial liar, habitual liar, and, all the things he said were bullshit. CM Retro says, I think that's strange since you're trying to network. Exactly. Like, you want to know, right, what this guy is about if you're going to try to do business with him.
Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. Like, if I've, in my day doing things, if I've made a mistake, I've come back and corrected it and said sorry or whatever. Like, how hard is that? Like, why make this whole video doing this? Why not just own part of it? Yeah. It's not that hard. It's the easiest thing to do, and it's the most endearing to your audience. Say, hey, man, there's some points here that could have been made. I may have messed up, and if I've led any of my audience, misled them in any way, I do apologize. But then you could go into how you're not a massive shill, but at least have that portion.
Yeah.
Because there was some shilling going on.
He makes a good point. He says, no offense, but this whole Tellerico saga lets you know what YouTubers grew up in the city around hucksters and which ones are country bumpkins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I would agree. I'm gonna agree partially with that, right? Because I don't think some of these guys are country bumpkins. I think some of these guys, they knew Tommy was a huckster and they didn't care because they were getting something out of it. Whether it was, an audience, exposure, money, potentially down the line. Because remember,
free Amico.
Yeah, you're on the forefront. This is a brand new system. You're on the forefront of it. Take the chance, right? I play nice. I play ball with Tommy. I become one of the guys. I get a little bump. I'm the guy who interviewed Tommy when it was coming up. I gave him the chance. Look how awesome I am. That's what they were banking on. Too bad it didn't work out.
No, now you got to own it. You took that risk, and that it didn't pay off. Because if it did pay off, he would be, look at me. Even despite the fact that everybody was talking shit about this, look, I was there at the beginning, but it went the other direction. Now you say, I took a risk. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Just to your audience. That's the only person you owe an apology to, not to anyone else, not to us. Fuck what we have to say, but the people that. And he's monetized and he's making money. People are giving him money in super chats, and it wasn't just like 1 or 2 here or there. There was a few coming in.
Yeah, a lot of them. Tommy Gabbing says, "I'm really curious. Do you think Tommy has forever ruined the Intellivision name? I think it's time we start thinking about what happens with Intellivision post Tommy. I don't think he's ruined the Intellivision name, simply because most of the time everyone referred to it as the Amico." Right.
And the Coleco, like the chameleon, that's not what pops in my mind now when I think of Coleco. I have a Coleco vision upstairs. I still think of that. I don't think about. So I think maybe this is a little bit more intense, and I think it will tarnish the name for a small amount of time, but I think eventually it'll just be another funny thing to talk about, and you'll be, remember the Intellivision? The nostalgia and the memories of that system will ultimately, I think, trump all of this bullshit.
Yeah, it's just fresh right now, so that's why you're thinking of it. But I think in
Yeah.
like 5 years, it has to die. When it dies properly, then like 5 years from that day, it'll probably
Yeah,
be.
Intellivision will rise again from the nostalgia.
Potion Sword Run says he didn't do research because they don't do research. He's part of the club that circle jerks each other. It's part of the club type scenario. Yeah, exactly. He even says he knew Tommy. He was trying to network with him and stuff. It's about who you know.
A lot of these guys, from what I've heard, really scratch each other's back, and they make it to where it's tougher for the little guy to get up. And I think a lot of these guys do have each other's back. So yeah, he probably didn't think he needed to do research because he's already made it.
Yeah, he's rich. He got that money. You don't need to do no research. Tommy,
Yeah.
you can't lose. Tommy's never losing.
Yeah.
So, watch the video. It is a slow descent into madness. Lots of fake laughter. Lots of trying to just call himself a shill and own shilling, I guess, and really disingenuous. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it was sad and lame. That's why I couldn't get through it.
Yeah. Super sad. Speaking of sad news, for those of you who own an Xbox 360, I got some sad news for you. The Xbox 360 Marketplace update. All these games are going to be removed from the 360 Marketplace, which is weird. So you got a bunch of Assassin's Creed games, a couple Call of Duties, Counter-Strike Go, Dark Souls, Far Cry game, Left 4 Dead's, Mass Effect 2, Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
Witcher
a few big names on there.
Yeah. So if you don't have these games, Blue Dragon, that was an exclusive. If you got an Xbox 360 still, if you still have it and you're still trying to buy games, just note that a bunch of games are being removed from the marketplace.
Now, is that for people that own a 360 to download them on the 360, or was that for regular Xbox where you can still download and play 360 games on your regular Xbox? Or is that like an Xbox 360 server or something?
I think that's both. I think they're just being removed from the I don't know how the marketplace is on Xbox, but on PlayStation,
I just use Game Pass. So
on PlayStation, it's got like where you could break down what the game is. Is it a PS5 game or a PS4? And I imagine maybe that's the same way on Xbox. So, the Xbox 360 section, those games are. Levon says it's only for the 360. So
that's fine. I mean, that's been out for what? That's been out for 15 years, at least, or more. So that doesn't surprise me. But if the games are still available for the regular, that's fine. But yeah, those games, I think we have most of those games on 360. You can get those for like $2 at a yard sale.
Yeah. Sam Retro says go out and get Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey.
Is that Lost Odyssey? Is that the one? Is that Abe's Odyssey? Is that part of that?
No. It's a RPG, JRPG.
Oh, is it?
You're thinking of the Oddworld games.
Oddworld, yeah. That's what I'm thinking of.
All right.
That's another game I want to try that I've not tried before.
I tried the first one. It's decent. I just really can't get into them. I think I got like 2 of them on my PlayStation that I got to get to.
Yeah, everybody's confirming that it's only on the 360.
And the last bit of geek news is the new DC slate has been announced. And it's you interested in DC movies, Hammock Man?
Oh my God, the older I get, the less and less I'm just interested in any of this. Like I really got burnt out going through all the Marvel stuff because I watched all of those, and it kind of felt like it was leading up to this big thing with the Thanos, and then it just continued. Like it never stopped. It just continued, and then it's like you got DC in the mix. And I've tried to watch some of the DC movies, but they're just always inferior.
Oof.
I mean,
I didn't see the Brett Weiss video. I have something I want to say about that Pat video, that Pat comment. We'll get to that. We'll circle back around. Put a pin in it. We're gonna circle back around to one more.
Circle back, Saki.
Saki. You talking about Jen Psaki?
Jen Psaki.
We're gonna circle back. We're gonna circle back to that. But real quick, I want to go through these because it was pretty interesting. So we already knew that Shazam 2 was coming out, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and the Aquaman sequel. But then they said they're going to reset the universe. They're not
again,
but they're not really clear because they said that these movies are going to lead into the other movies, and there's going to be an Amanda Waller live action series that's a spinoff of the Peacemaker series, which I guess is the old universe, but now it's going to be part of the new universe.
That's what's so weird about DC, man. They've fucked it up. They screwed it up. They had a great thing that they could have just modeled after Marvel, but Schneider,
he screwed it up.
He messed it up.
So they got Creature Commandos is coming out. That's going to be an animated show about basically a bunch of DC monsters, like the Frankenstein's monster fighting Nazis during World War II.
Yeah.
Paradise Lost is a live action series about Paradise Island, Wonder Woman's home, Themyscira, set before Wonder Woman exists. And I guess it's going to be like a Game of Thrones type thing.
Okay.
And with all the women on the island, since it is just women, it's going to be lots of lesbian sex.
Oh, you better watch out. Get that message from Disney Plus that you don't want. Stuttering Craig.
This would be on WB, so this would be like HBO Max.
Oh, okay, true. He's probably into the lesbians, though.
Yeah. Batman Brave and the Bold is going to be a Batman movie with, I'm assuming it's an older Batman because they're talking about Damian Wayne being in the movie, Batman's son. So I would imagine, even if we go Batman knocked up some chick at 20, the kid's got to be like 15. So we're talking about at least a 35-year-old Batman who's been around because they said the Bat family is going to be in the movie. So
really, it's a shame. Batman is such a superior character just to be stuck in the DC. Like, but Superman too. But honestly, Batman, I think is. If I had to guess, if I had to pick, Batman would be the number one superhero of all time.
The Flash would be the best DJC movie. Autocorrect because you use DJC way too much.
Superman's a good character too, but he's almost like it doesn't work in today's movie because it's just he's so overpowered.
Well, that's why I've always said if you're going to do a Superman movie, you got to make it so that Superman has to use his brain and not his brawn, right? It has to be a cerebral villain that he can't just punch.
Yeah.
Well, Superman Legacy is the big Superman movie. They said that's going to kick off the new DCU. That's coming out July 2025. So not for 2 years, 2.5 years almost, before we get the first new DCU movie, however they want to call it.
Yeah.
And they said it's going to be a younger Superman, just showing up to Metropolis. It's going to explore his.
No, wait.
It's going to explore his human and Kryptonian sides and what that means as a Superman.
Hush. Can you close that door, please? Can you close that door?
Yeah, what was that?
My 13-year-old being dumb.
Then you got Booster Gold. It's going to be like a comedic superhero from the future comes back with technology. You got the Green Lantern show, which is going to feature 2 Green Lanterns solving crimes. Adam Wilson says, yeah, that would be an interesting Superman movie, but it'll never happen. Overuse of CG and punching is the norm. It is. It is the norm, but I think that if you have Brainiac or Lex Luthor as the villain, he is a grown-ass man. He's going to be grown, but he's going to be like a 20-year-old man, 22, just showing up to Metropolis type thing. It's not going to be a mistake-making Superman. From my understanding, it's going to be a mom, apple pie in America type thing. Kraz says he's hyped for the Lanterns concept. Yeah, that sounds interesting because it's like 2 space cops. The Supergirl one sounds interesting too because it's going to be about Supergirl being raised on a chunk of rock that exploded off of Krypton, and how she witnesses everybody die through the 14 years of her life before she ends up leaving. Swamp Thing is going to be a dark, gritty movie and horror. And then The Authority, which is a Wildstorm comic that was folded into the DC comics. It's going to be about like a take no prisoners, ends justify the means superhero team. So I'm a little bit excited for this. I'm not a big DC fan, but I am.
That Swamp Thing sounds cool, though. I might be most excited for that.
Yeah, they said that's going to be the last one that comes out, though, so.
Damn it.
I have to wait for a while. Making a cinematic universe should be a piece of cake for DC, but they blow it every time. They do. Just make movies.
Yeah. They're so concerned with it, like competing with Marvel, that they've literally become a joke.
Yeah.
Every time.
Their first issue is unrealistic expectations. I understand that a movie with Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman should make a lot of money. But it made money, right? Superman versus Batman made money. Maybe it didn't make as much money as they wanted to, but they should have kept going. Right? Like, commit to a vision, to a plan.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing would be great. I just hope they put their heart into it. Yeah, supposedly they spent a bunch of money on a Swamp Thing costume for this TV show that they canceled. So
that's the problem. Is it? We probably won't ever even get to the Swamp Thing movie. They'll probably screw it up before then and reset. If that's the last one.
And hopefully they don't. Hopefully. No more resets, no more reboots. When something doesn't work out 100%, they need to just keep going.
Didn't they cancel? What was the movie they canceled? Was it Batgirl?
Batgirl, yeah.
They just
that was a tax thing. Lorenzo says he doesn't trust big Hollywood studios.
No.
Yeah, Blue Beetle looks like it's going to be all right. And they even said that they're open to the possibility of the actor coming back. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, they made a Swamp Thing series, but they canceled it. Yeah, there's a lot of people that said they did Batgirl wrong, but I mean it was a money decision, and from my understanding, it wasn't going to fit into all this. And there was certain characters they probably didn't want to introduce because they're going to introduce them in the new Batman movie, so they just had to go.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to introduce a bunch of new characters in a Batman movie.
Well, they're going to
introduce movie.
Well, they said in the Batman movie, it's the Batman family. So you're going to have Nightwing, potentially, Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, Azrael.
Could be a problem. That could be a problem because I know, like with like the, it was kind of weird how they did it with like the Suicide Squad, where they just like you got to introduce all these characters at once, and it's not an easy thing to do. Some of these characters need like their own movie as an introduction story. I mean, it can be done right. Like Guardians of the Galaxy was done well, but it could be a big screw up trying to bring in all these characters.
I just don't see the point of making a full movie and not releasing it. Well, the point is that they would make more money by not releasing it. That's the point. They made the movie. It looked like it was going to be shitty. It wasn't going to do any money in the box office. Due to the fact that they had the merger with Discovery, they said, hey, well, you know what? We could probably make more money writing it off on taxes than releasing it.
Well, could you still write it off if you just release it to streaming services? Like it didn't do.
No, they couldn't do anything with it. The only way to write it off was to bury it. Because if you're releasing it, then it's not a tax write-off anymore. You released it.
They did that back in the 90s, I think, with like a Fantastic Four movie. They made an entire.
That wasn't done for tax reasons.
No, that was done because they were trying to keep the license.
Yeah, they were obligated to make a movie within a certain time frame. But the funny thing is, they didn't tell Roger Corman or the cast. The cast didn't know either.
They put their effort into it, man. People have said that people actually.
I've seen it.
It's not a terrible movie.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination. It is for what it is, and for the time it was made. It's a pretty decent movie. But like I said, it was funny because the cast didn't know, so they actually did interviews and stuff, thinking that the movie was going to be released, and then it never got released.
Too bad.
I hope they introduce.
All right, I don't really.
The question would be pretty good. The only other interesting thing about this, before we move on, is that he said he wants to integrate the movies, TV shows, cartoons, and video games. So whatever actors they cast to play Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, whoever, they want them to voice the characters in the cartoons and the video games, and then to also be the ones that show up if they make TV shows.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah, but to me, what that sounds like is they're going to end up getting a bunch of younger, unknown actors, because ain't nobody with any sort of Hollywood credentials is going to settle for a shitty contract, and you're not going to pay huge bucks on something that hasn't even come out yet, right? Like an unproven.
Honestly, that could be a good thing. I mean, because all these actors, so many actors have been involved in these superhero movies. Like, why not start with some young, fresh people? Like, make it your whole new thing. Instead of recasting Jared Leto again or like Ben Affleck, like let's bring some young blood in.
Yeah, I agree. So I look forward to hearing some more news, some more casting stuff. I know you guys ain't interested too much in DC, but hey, DC will actually. How many of these DC movies will actually be detective movies? Probably just Batman. Actually, they said the Lanterns TV show is going to be like modeled after True Detective. So, at least two. Oh shit! Bobster's dropping a super chat. Thank you, Bobster. He says it's like
thank you.
It's like a return to the 90s, 2000s where the Hollywood actors voiced all the bad tie-in games. Yeah. Let's just hope that the tie-in stuff isn't bad this time. Bobster here, he recently got engaged, and he's fast-tracking his wedding. So,
ooh.
Everybody, F's in the chat for Bobster's single life. It's coming to an end.
Congratulations, dude. Being married can be fun. It is fun. It can be a headache at times, but there's some great things about it.
All right. Last but not least, we're going to circle back around to Pat
Weiss.
NES Punk. No, not Brett Weiss. Pat Pat.
Just Pat? Okay.
Well, Pat talking about Brett Weiss. Let me try to get the timestamp because Pat says something very interesting. And it kind of went over my head. And then when I started talking to Genovi, of all people, about it, he was talking to me. I was listening. I said, yeah, you're right. And it kind of was fucked up. It's fucked up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is news to me. I don't know anything about what we're about to see.
Okay, so here we go. I got it all queued up. Did you see the Pat Intellivision Amico Shills React video?
On the CU podcast?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw it.
Well, then you probably heard the same thing I heard, and you probably also just kind of, it didn't register.
Well,
when you hear it,
it's 40 minutes, Yeah.
Fred Weiss is the human version of the mayo sandwich. Chris Kattan,
mayo might be too spicy for him.
Yeah, Chris Kattan would actually be a great Tommy Tallarico. That would, if Gilbert Gottfried was alive, yeah, but he's not. He's not. No problem, Bobster. As always, congratulations again. Remember, don't play but they're the nicest person on the internet card. What? All right, so here it is. We're going to get a little story time from Unky Pat.
Story time quick about why Brett has animosity towards me in general. So Brett was a contributor to the first version of the NES guidebook and the second. This one. I paid Brett up front for 60 reviews.
60 reviews by Brett. Keep that in mind.
It's structured. I pay all my writers. Brett, maybe you should. But I pay the writers up front for the work, especially in the NES book. I had no idea if I would sell.
Brett doesn't pay. That's great.
I had no idea if the book would sell 100, 500, 1,000. I took a risk on the first book. So I paid everyone up front. Brett actually got paid more money than the other reviewers. He wouldn't come down. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. His writing, some of it was repurposed from, I think he used to write on a website and from maybe from his other books. So these are supposed to be reviews. Oh, sorry. These are reviews. This book has reviews in them. These aren't descriptions. The only book where it's a full library of reviews. So the book comes out. We're looking at reviews. Even before that.
So 60 of these reviews are done by Brett. Pat has paid him up front. He said he wants reviews, not descriptions.
The question came up between me and then Ian and a couple others looking at some of Brett's writing. We weren't sure he played through all the games he actually quote unquote reviewed. And I didn't have the choice. I was in a pickle at the time to get extra writing in the book. But for example,
at the very least, they could have been a lot better.
But for example, I paid Brett for all 6 Mega Man reviews. Paid him for all 6. Only 2 of them showed up in the book, 5 and 6. I was not comfortable with the quality of writing. And so I had someone else, Ashton, who edited the second book. She rewrote 3. And I took one of the team. I actually wrote Mega Man 4 review. I give it 4 stars. So there were other questionable things in there as well before the book came out, where, again, I paid for the writing. But Magic Johnson's Fast Break, terrible game. Brett gave it 3 stars. I'm looking at this review. I'm like, did he play this game? I played it. I reviewed it. It's my review in the book. It's a 1-star game.
Describing a sports game and giving it a middle 3 stars seems like a pretty goddamn.
That seems like they're like, oh, it's a sports game. Let's give it 3 stars.
Yeah.
Did you play the fucking game? Like, we're not off.
So he's questioning whether or not Brett even played these games that he supposedly reviewed for the book.
By a half-star, even star. This is like Double Dribble's like a 3-star area game, 3.5 star. Magic Johnson's is not. It is bad. And there were other reviews like that were weird. The Adventures of Rad Gravity come to mind, where he wrote the review and it was just missing things like describing different types of weapons or items you need to progress in the game. Half of that review was mine. I had to go back and play the game, Ian, for a couple hours and rewrite the review and still gave him credit. But these are the issues we constantly saw. So for the third revision, since the second print run had to come out right after the first because it was sold out, Ian rewrote like Gunn and we had a few others of his written. By the third print run, though, I was like, I don't trust these reviews. We're rewriting all of them. Brett found out. He got a bug up his ass about it. He put out a video where it was wishy-washy, where he thought I took his writing out because of royalties. There was no royalties. You were fully paid. You should have let people know that in your video, Brett. And I took your writing out because it was mediocre and not up to the standards of the other writers in the book, like Ian and myself and Ashton and everyone else that worked on it.
Okay. So essentially what Pat is saying here is, see, the Potion Sword Run caught it. That's exactly what I was going to say. Why would Pat sell his book in that state if it wasn't comfortable with Brett's review? Shady as fuck towards the people who paid for the book. Exactly. This was a Kickstarter book. Kickstarter, right? He didn't have deadlines, right? This wasn't like he had a publisher and they had a deadline and said, Pat, you got to get this book out by Christmas. We got to get it on store shelves. This is a Kickstarter project, right? He had people pay him money because they believed in this project. And instead of giving them the best possible product, he gave them a substandard product simply because, as he said, he was in a pickle. He had to get it out. He had to get it out, guys. He couldn't push it back because God knows no Kickstarter project has ever came out and said, hey, we need more time to do the thing that we're doing, right?
Well, to be fair, he did say that, he paid for 60 reviews, but he did say he didn't use all of them. So it's a good chance that he used the ones that were acceptable, but cold.
But he ends up taking them all out. He ends up taking all of Brett's reviews out in the third revision.
Well, that was probably from being petty. No,
but he didn't say
more of him being.
We have to take people at their word, right? He said that the reason he took it out was not because he was petty. He said that Brett's wrong and Brett's rebuttal is completely off base. Pat is saying that he is the bastion of truth, and he's telling it like it is. And he said Brett's reviews were just substandard. They weren't up to the quality of the other reviews. So again, why did you leave them in the first place? Why, when you made the third revision, why didn't you contact anybody and say, hey guys, there was an issue. Turns out Brett's reviews were crap. If you got that first book, we're going to send you a supplemental little book that has, a little booklet with 60 reviews of better quality that to go along, a little companion, a little thank you for supporting my book, for helping get the Kickstarter through, and for me giving you shitty writing.
Yeah, he could have. That doesn't paint him in the best of light. That probably was not the reaction he was expecting to get out of this. He didn't think that through.
No, because he was just trying to throw Brett under the bus.
I've seen this. I've heard this. As soon as I read that, I've seen this elsewhere, like either in comment sections or other people have brought this up too. So I've seen it.
Remember, this was independently published.
People are thinking this.
So again, independently published. This was kickstarted. He did not have to rush this book out. This book didn't need to be rushed out. He even says when they first got the writings from Brett, they said it was a little funky. Some of the things were wrong. They were already correcting things in the first printing. At that point, wouldn't you have said, Brett, these are shit. I'm not paying for these reviews.
So what do you think he did? Do you think that he was actually pissed, or do you think he's saying this because he was pissed after the fact, which people are claiming, or Brett Weiss claimed, because he did a Super Nintendo book?
Yeah, I think he was pissed.
Pat just got mad.
Yeah, replace the book he wasn't comfortable with, recall them, something. No, but see, Brett Weiss, from my understanding, he put out his own book, right? And Petty Pat, as I'm to be understood, said he didn't like when other people would go to these conventions and that had books out, and he was very, I'm Pat the NES punk, prima donna. So there could be a good chance that, he was probably thinking of doing a SNES book. Brett Weiss did one, got pissed. So, Brett Weiss has beat me to the punch and took his writing out.
Does he have a point though? Would you isn't that like obviously if Pat did a NES book, he's probably going to do a Super Nintendo book, and if he hired you to do the writing and then you just turn around and then
but he hired him to do the writing for the NES book. He has no ownership over SNES.
No,
reviews.
not at all. But do you? I'm just saying. Do you think that that's fair that he would get salty about that? I mean, I can't say for certain that I wouldn't. Like if, let's say, I hired Ninja Kitty to do some writing for something like a Sonic 1 book, and then all of a sudden we do that, and Ninja Kitty's like, "Well, I'm making a Sonic 2 book." I might get a little salty.
Maybe, but again, if you hired Brett, right? Again, you should have known beforehand. You should have said, "Hey, we're going to work on a second book. I'm going to, contract you when we do the follow-up, when we do the SNES book." Or just who cares, right? People who bought the SNES book from Brett are people who like Brett's writing, and then people who buy the SNES book from Pat are the people who like Pat and like Pat's writing, right? You Super J says, if you have start dates for overseas factories, hard to hit stop button for a handful of poor quality reviews. I don't think these aren't factories, right? These are printing presses. It's a whole totally different thing. A printing operation is a lot easier versus a factory like for the Amico, right? To create a new product. He wasn't creating a new product as a book. He just had to get it printed up. What the hell they call that shit when they put the pages binded? It had to get binded to the back. That's it. He could have pushed it back. Would it have cost him money? Probably. It would have probably cost him. Took a hit on it. Pat kept talking about overseas shipping. Yeah, overseas shipping. Sure. I'm sure the book was not assembled in America. I'm sure the book was printed and assembled overseas. But you could have worked something out. Hell, you could have printed up the book, said, "Hey, forget those 60 reviews. We'll do a second printing or a supplemental printing for those because they weren't up to standard." Hell, even if he would have came out when this happened, right? When he got those, he would say, "Hey guys, I got some writings. I paid for Brett Weiss to do these reviews. They were shitty." But I'm gonna leave. I have to leave them in the book because I got nothing else. Right? There's no time for me to do new reviews. If you want to cancel your order, let me know. If not, we'll send you the book, and then we'll send you a little something extra. A little signed Pat the NES punk thing. Don't you know that ink on that is second to unobtainium? Yeah, super expensive. Remember, and he did a second printing. There was a second printing. It wasn't until the third printing that Pat decided, "Hey, you know what? I should take these out." He could have definitely, even if he said, "Well, the first printing had him," but once he did the second, he could say, "Hold on, let me put pause on this for that second printing," right?
I still think Brett Weiss is still kind of a doofus.
Oh, he's definitely
I still think that,
and his writing probably was shitty.
I think it was.
I'm not
no
doubting
question about it. That it is.
That's why I said when Pat says the writing was shitty, I've seen Brett. We went over Brett's writing for some other stuff. It's not the best, not the best. So I could definitely see.
I don't think this shit. Yeah, I don't think that. Like I said, I don't think Pat thought this through. I think that this wasn't the ownage that he thought it was, because people have obviously turned it around, being like, "Well, if his writing was so shitty, why did you sell it to us?"
Well, here's a better question: why did you hire him in the first place? Again, this speaks back to the vetting process when we said, when Stuttering Craig should have looked into Tommy before having him on his show to ask him some questions. Before Pat hired Brett Weiss, he probably should have got a sample of his writing.
Well, I think he did. Well, the thing that was it Smash's video, or they were reading his thing where they were with the Brett, did you read Brett Weiss's wall of text he posted on Twitter?
No.
Did you see it? You haven't seen that? You haven't seen it at all?
No, I don't follow Brett Weiss. I don't know.
Well, somebody bring it up in the chat. Well, actually, you know what? Hold on. I can find it on
I'll
Twitter
find it.
here. He just go to Brett Weiss. It's like one of his things. It's something he brought up, and I remember, and I think it was in there, or because Smash JT read through the whole damn thing. I mean, it's a long response. And on one of the things, he said that Pat walked up to, maybe he had one of his books or something like that he had done before, and flipped through some of his writing and came and asked him and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing an NES book. Would you be interested in reading it?" So he did read some of his stuff, but I don't know. Maybe he had just worked harder on those and fooled him, and then the stuff he did for the reviews were shit. I don't know.
Here's my full statement. It's at Brett Weiss words. I got to go to Brett Weiss's website just to read his statement.
Yeah, you have to click. It's a long fucking thing.
Yeah, it is. It is fucking Jesus.
Yeah, I tried to read part of it, but then I ended up just watching Smash's video on like 2 times speed as he powered through it. It's his college admissions essay. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, but I don't think this reflects well on Pat. I've had a situation, right? So, as some people might know, I run a website that's not very successful, but it's a thing I do. And at one point, I hired a writer to do a review of Streets of Rage 4. Okay, and we got a review copy for it. A review copy of the Streets of Rage 4, and he submitted to me, and I said, "This doesn't look right." So what do you mean? He says, "Well, did you unlock all the characters?" He says, "Well, no, I didn't. You know, I only played a couple of levels." So what do you mean you only played a couple of levels? I said, "Well, yeah, it's a beat 'em up, right? You only play a couple." I said, "Well, the characters play differently, right? There's, you're not detailing the different moves, the different move sets, how they play differently. The bosses, nothing. You just, this is a shit review." Well, what do you want me to do? You're not paying me that much. I said, "You knew that before." Right? This wasn't a secret. I didn't trick you into this, right? I said, "You got the game for free. It's like a $60 game, right? Maybe it was a $40 game. So you got $40 plus I gave you cash on top of that." So I ended up having to buy a copy of Streets of Rage 4. So I was out the review copy, out the cash I paid for the review. And then I had to buy a new copy. Then I had to stay up, play the game, and then get the review written all before the damn game came out. Why? Because I cared what my audience, even though the review probably only got like 60 views. I cared what those 60 people saw. I cared that those 60 people would be informed correctly as to what the game was and how it played.
Yeah.
Now, Pat apparently doesn't give a shit. Maybe he didn't think anyone was actually going to read it. They were just going to put it on their shelf. Adam Wilson says, "You know what else doesn't reflect well on Pat? Viagra pill sponsors." I seen that. I think that was just funny. I don't.
That was funny.
They both go to conventions to sell their books, and that's not a good look by Pat. Yeah.
And it's like they kind of, and Brett Weiss kind of alluded to it too, like that got to the point where Pat just seemed like miserable even hanging around Brett Weiss at conventions. Could you imagine? Like, as I've seen, like how Bob my book, like you said, he's like mayonnaise. Like, could you imagine like trying to talk to him and hang? There's a picture with him, with Pat, Brett Weiss, and the Game Chasers, and Pat just looks like he does not fucking want to be there. I think it's on down.
That one right there.
Yeah, go up. His face is just like the game, or it's No, that's what is that the gaming historian there, and then you got Shady J and Pat, just like, Brett Wise. Hi guys, I'm Brett Wise. Can I come sit with you guys? I'm a YouTuber too. I made a book. Buy my book. Buy my Patreon.
A big YouTuber retweeted Brett's tweet. Who retweeted his tweet? Let me look. I got 7 retweets. Don't see any big YouTuber. Let me see. 5 quote tweets. Patrick Scott Patterson. Oh, that guy's a fucking joke. Genovi. Mario. Somebody or another. And I guess 2 people that got me blocked because I can't see the quote tweets. But I know this one guy here, this Patrick Scott Patterson. If I remember correctly, this is the guy that had the issue with Pat over the what the fuck was it? It was like listing something on eBay or some shit.
Scumbag seller of the week.
Yeah.
Did he call him out on that?
He called him out on something, if I remember correctly. Speaking of calling people out, I had a little issue on Twitter, on the Twitters this
Twitter
week.
sphere.
Yeah. Because I put out a real simple, just a simple tweet. I can't say the word I was thinking, but
Innocuous.
yeah, that's the word. Basically saying, hey, this is why you should use Reddit, right? I'll pull up my tweet because. So I said, this is why I tell people to promote their content on Reddit. And I just showed the analytics from Google, from the YouTube, and showing that I got 7,500 views from Reddit, right? It's pretty decent for a tiny channel.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Lunga here apparently took issue with that for some reason, some odd reason here. So we'll get into this whole thread here. So he says, you got 1.2K subs and low views like the rest of us, Tony. How's Reddit working for you? Also, most subreddits delete and not allow channel promotion. The ones that do allow it only allow it for people who are super active posting in the subreddit. Well, there is no self-promotion on Reddit. You have to follow the guidelines, right? Self-promotion should only be, I think it says 20% of all your posts on Reddit. Secondly, the guy's trying to compare our two channels. Right? So I said it's working great. I grew myself from 13 subs to 1.2 with the help from Reddit, getting my videos to triple and quadruple digits. I'll take my 396,000 total channel views over your 149,000 any day. So we have more than double this gentleman's channel views. More than double. He's trying to compare us, trying to say that we're on the same wavelength. You know, a channel that has flatlined versus a channel that keeps going up. Right? But of course, I said, and to hammer home the difference, your channel did around 2,800 views in 30 days, while my Arcade 1-Up video did around 2,100 views in less than a week. But you would think, right? That's it. You've been buried. But no.
I have not been actively making clickbait content, nor penning it. Pining for it like you. Pining. I could barely read it.
Yeah,
pining for it like you. DVD live streams are not algorithm machines, fool. I quite clearly added myself as someone who is not getting a lot of views, and it's intentional as I make content I want, not geared to the algorithm. You're the one that fucking brought up views in the first place, you douche.
Yeah. So a couple
I like
of
how
things.
that's so stupid.
Let me zoom it in so you can have better.
Yeah, now I can read it. My old eyes were struggling.
All right, so here's the thing. Okay, so first off, yeah, I didn't bring in views, right? I didn't bring any views into it, comparing anything. I was just like,
He
hey,
did.
I was just like, hey, here's why you should use Reddit, because look, Reddit's helped me, right? You could have ignored it. You could have just didn't have to say shit. Didn't say nothing. I had to jump into my conversation here. But you did. You wanted to. You thought you had something, right? You thought you were gonna take me down a peg for some reason. For some reason, I needed to be taken down a peg. But no. My reply is, I said, "Lol, always quick to toss out insults when you get called out for a bad take. I make content I want and still do way better than you. So no, we're not comparable channels. As for D&D live streams doing bad, well, someone better tell Critical Role. Take the L and slink away. Critical Role has made D&D cool. It has made people think that D&D live streams are things to watch. They're interesting, right? It's like when you make an Amico video now, right? You're almost guaranteed some level of audience interest because of what it is, right? Because of the H Bomber Guy video, because of the Amico community. D&D is the same way, right? There's a level of interest that people have thanks to Critical Role because that show has done so well that people want other things like it, right? So yeah, so the algorithm does like it when you're good at what you do. Of course, he can't stop. He says, the only bad take is yours. You want to compare Critical Role that's packed with celebrity voice actors to normal D&D streams. It's not what I did, but okay. I need a potion sword to do the rolling on the side.
Crying face. Roll. Yeah.
He says,
I literally said, I don't care about views. You are the one spinning shit to look right. Keep trying, Tony. The amount of oof from you is hilarious.
Yeah. I was at work, so I had plenty of time to keep responding. He says, obviously you missed the point. That tends to happen when you have your head up your ass. D&D streams can be very popular, but you need an interesting cast and people viewers actually like. Might be why your streams struggle.
We should do a D&D stream. I've never actually played D&D for real.
Well, I bought Sidekick Max. He has the player's manual, the monster manual, and the GM guide. I always was interested in it. Never could find anybody to play with. I said,
I'll play.
We got 2. All right. Got to get the audience in on it. Says you might want to go back and check my Arcade 1-Up videos. That said, you claim to not care about views, but this started when you decided to bitch about me telling people to use Reddit to get views. Hang it up, kid. You're done. You're done. He wasn't done. He wasn't done yet. Now he says, I don't give a fuck about a handful of vids. It's literally 3. This is the last thing I'm going to say, Tony. All your big videos are 2,000 to 3,000 views and less than 100 likes. You are ratioed hard. Guys, if I don't get likes on my videos, that means I got ratioed, apparently. You brag about 23,000 views, yet your subs have only grown 200 since October. Stop with the brag, bro. I don't think I bragged. And I don't even think I said anything about 23,000 views. That was you looking at my social blade to know that I made 23,000 views in a month.
Who the fuck is this guy?
It's one of Saggy's friends.
Minions?
No, he's just a dick. I said low ratio.
Don't come around to our place, you fuck. You got nothing. Stay over there.
Yeah, I said no need to get your huggies in a bunch, little guy. He's into diapers. He's a diaper guy. It's one of those weird.
Is he a diaper baby?
Yeah. People not clicking like or dislike isn't a ratio. My sub growth slowed but hasn't stopped. After you hit 1K, Social Blade only tracks by tens. So we went to Social Blade and saw that there was no, +1, +1, +5. Because after you hit 1,000, it goes by tens. After you hit 10,000, it goes by hundreds. So it's just an idiot that doesn't know how to read shit. Does Saggy exist anymore?
Yeah, she's still
Hammock
doing
Man,
her
you're gonna
thing.
fold them in half?
Yeah, I'm gonna fold that bitch in half. Yeah. Don't push me, man. Don't push me.
Yeah, 56K warnings, right. Forums are dying and Reddit threads are what's left. Yeah, you got to adapt with the times.
I don't post on Reddit ever. Where do you post your videos? Just in whatever the video's about, like in one of those
Yeah, well,
threads.
Like I said, you have to be active, right? So if I know I'm going to make a video on, say, a JRPG, right? I make sure that I'm active in the JRPG subreddit. Make sure that my content has been approved and everything. So then when I make the video, I can drop it in there, and it just kind of mixes in with the regular stuff that I do, right? So the mods don't get mad, like, hey, what are you doing? But a lot of these people, like, that's why DVD Fever got fucking banned. They had to ban his ass from the Amico subreddit because he would just come in, drop his video, and then take off, and not interact with the rest of the fucking group, right? It's like, no, dude, this isn't here for you to promote yourself. This is here to talk about the Amico. Does that include your video? Yes, but only if you're going to play nice with the rest of the people, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're smart like me, right, a lot of times they get mad if you self-promote, right? But if I put up a Hammock Man video in a subreddit, right, that's not self-promotion because literally it's not my video. And if Hammock Man puts up a Tony video, it's not self-promotion. See how that works, guys? That's why for a time I actually had somebody on payroll that would post my videos and post my articles to different subreddits as needed.
Very sneaky, Tony.
Not sneaky, smart.
Smart.
So this moron, instead of making good content that people want to see and bring in new viewers to his channel, he's purposely making content that doesn't bring in people. No, he's just making shitty content and it's just not bringing in people. And now he's one of those like, well, I don't want viewers. Like, dude, if you don't want viewers, then don't live stream your D&D sessions, right? You don't want people to watch, then just fucking do it for yourselves. Leave that shit private. Why doesn't Smash realize that people don't like when he whines? His response was terrible too. Yeah. The worst response I seen to all of this Amico stuff was the big retro show response. Because basically,
I responded to that.
I didn't.
In the video I made.
I didn't say anything. I just said Tommy had lots of money and Pat was jealous, based on nothing other than me trying to, take a shot at Pat.
Yeah. That's what I said in my video. Like, what do these people expect? I mean, I don't understand why they're getting so pressed. If you're going to talk shit about somebody, no matter how big they are, at some point they could easily clap back at you. And for the longest time, Pat never really responded to many of these YouTubers. It was mostly to Tommy, with a little bit kind of sprinkled in here and there. But eventually, it's like, here we are at the end. It's the victory lap. Now he's going to take a shit on all the people that shit on him on the way. Whether it was minor or not, you were still part of it.
Yeah. Also, apparently, I think Turbo Joe took one of his Amico videos down.
Yeah, Turbo Joe is done.
He took down the inverted controller video.
That's the one. Oh God, I forgot about that. Good for you, Turbo Joe. Put all that shit behind you, man.
Not really, because you're sweeping it under the rug. Leave it up there. If you want to make a video saying, "Hey, this is up here for historical purposes," I don't feel like
but that one was Turbo Joe had some bad takes though, dude. Like it wouldn't bother me if he were deleted some of those videos, like the one where he was like, what was it? He's going to be playing his Amico on New Year's Day, like he swore it. Like it, dude. Like those videos like that. Like why even leave that shit up? Other people have copies of those videos, like.
I hope they do. I hope everything's saved.
Is Turbo Joe laughing at us yet? Yeah, is he? That's what he said he was going to do. He's going, I'm going to be laughing at all you. Oh, man. Those were fun times, dude.
Fun times. But now they're over.
I mean, it's still happening at the Amico Forever, but on a much smaller scale. And they keep banning people, banning questions, banning LGBTQ questions.
Well, it wasn't even an LGBTQ question. It was
Well, no, it's just, are you going to have LGBT games? Are you going to have LGBT games on the system? And they were like,
no, it wasn't even that. That wasn't even it. It was even simpler than that. They said, how are you going to market to the LGBTQ community? And
plus, you forgot the plus.
It's LGBTQ AAIP
Q plus community.
Plus. Yeah. I mean, all they had to say, I think Rab answered the question, but it wasn't anything egregious. It wasn't anything that they should have been, we got to delete this. We got to hide this.
Yeah, what's the point of that? That's what I said. That's what I said in my video. It's like the optics on that just look like crap. Just answer the question and move on.
Or just ignore it like a normal person would do. Right? If you don't want to answer
something, don't delete it.
Yeah, deleting it just like lets everybody know, hey, look, we deleted that.
Those dudes are weird as fuck. Like, I wonder, what do you think that because they're talking. Like, how do these little discussions go? Like between DJC and Mike Mullis. Do you think that they discuss it like, oh, there was a question about the gay stuff. Should we delete it?
No, it was afterward. Like, oh, it's a good job you deleted that gay question. We don't want none of those playing our Amico. They don't want to be
it's the saddest little thing. Like, I said it in my video too. Like, it's the saddest little thing. It's like they've been combined. They're down in their final little bunker fighting for the Amico. It's the DJC channel, Amico Forever. Like, that's the last place, the last bastion of freedom for them to spout their bullshit. I can't believe Nick, Geeks with Cash, is still doing it. I feel like he's just too nice of a guy and he doesn't want to turn his back on his friends.
Yeah, I think he pretty much said it at one point that he's only there because it's a chance to be on a live stream with his friends and talk to his buddies.
Well, he's in the wrong group. Come hang out with us, Nick.
He don't like us. He said his friends.
Yeah, I know. Well, if he really wants to talk with people.
You ever see those like documentaries where like they go to an island in Japan and like they find some like old Japanese guy that was like hiding in a cave and he still thinks it's World War II?
Yeah.
That's how I imagine DJC is going to be in like 30 years. Like, just going to stumble on his channel one day like, oh shit, he's still making videos talking about the Amico coming out.
Yeah. Finnegan Fox revisited. My jaw's hitting the ground.
Yeah, see, Chupacabra's right. They're the last soldiers of Amico, still wandering the jungle waiting for Tommy's rescue chopper to come.
Literally, DJC's dentures fall out and hit the ground.
My dentures are hitting the ground. But I don't know. It is what it is, right? I know.
Yeah, it is.
We haven't been covering it so much because. So I'm just
What's
like
there to
over
cover?
it. Yeah, I'm just over it at this point, though. Like,
there's nothing big. Like, we had so many big stories there for a while that we got spoiled. Now I occasionally still like to go talk about it, but it's usually minor little things. Like I talked about the Pat and Amico conflict, but what's the story? I mean, yeah, we could keep shitting on the Amico Forever people for them banning questions and stuff, but it's just not exciting as it once was with Tommy Tallarico no longer involved at all. That's why I kind of like this new Arcade 1-Up thing. This shit is kind of interesting. Like, it's never going to take the place of an Amico, not even close, but it's still kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had. I will direct you to Ben X Gamer, who is currently live talking about the Amico and Stuttering Craig. So why don't you guys go over there? Tell him the frog sent you. And,
Is Stuttering Craig live?
No. Gen X Gamer's live talking about Stuttering Craig.
Oh. Sorry.
So, hop on over there. Let them know the frog sent you. We got nothing left. It's been an hour and 45. I really didn't want to stream this long. It's a lot longer than I thought. We appreciate you guys coming. We appreciate you guys leaving a like on your way out. And we'll probably play some games tomorrow or something. We're working on some things. You want to plug anything, Hammock, before we leave?
No, I don't have anything to plug. I'm working. I got a video that I got to finish editing of my second game that I beat. That's going to come out on the Geek Getaway channel, but that's just me not being lazy and going upstairs and doing it. But for me, who knows? Maybe Custer's Revenge. Maybe a random Jeep video one day this week. We'll see if I feel up to it on my on my lunch break.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. We might have a guest in 2 weeks. I'm looking into it. I got to do some of that due diligence that I always talk about. So maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe we won't have a guest. Who knows? But until then, love, peace, booty grease. We out this bitch.